Millions of people around the world look up to Warren Buffett as an example of how to be successful in the investment world. When he was just 11 years old, he made his first investment in a stock. Investors new and old have been inspired by his narrative, which has been referenced in hundreds of presentations throughout the world. Sure, but who exactly is Warren Buffett? In this video, we'll examine the life of the man known as the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, focusing on the investments and choices that helped him become one of the world's wealthiest and most revered businesses. In 1932, Warren Edward Buffett entered this world. Omaha, Nebraska, and Howard and Layla Buffett. I remember when I was a kid. Warren was reportedly a mathematical prodigy who could add vast columns of numbers in his head. A skill that would serve him well in the future, and he showed an early aptitude for finance and business. According to urban legend, he threatened to leap off Omaha's tallest building if he wasn't a millionaire by the time he turned 30. Put a like if you're relieved he didn't go through with it, or a dislike if you think it would have been better if he had jumped. Warren made his first investment when he was 11 years old. He invested $38 in 3 shares of Municipal Service Preferred. As soon as the stock hit $40, he sold it for a modest profit, which he later regretted when it reached $200. Having gone through this, he learned the value of patience and investing early on. Warren began his career as a paperboy when he was only 13 years old. He regularly rose at 4:30 a.m. to bring the Washington Post. In addition to the newspaper, he peddled magazine and calendar subscriptions to his clientele. In addition to, at age 15, Warren was making $2,000 a year distributing newspapers. In today's currency, this is equivalent to roughly $25,000. He put $1,200,000 of it into a 40-acre farm in Nebraska in exchange for a share of the profits. When Buffett was 17 years old, he and a friend bought a used pinball machine for $25 and set it up in a local barbershop. In a matter of months, they expanded their business to include multiple barbershops and machines. Okay, I'm making about $25 a week, so that's cool. A war hero eventually bought the company for $1,200. After receiving his Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Nebraska, Warren promptly submitted his application to Harvard Business School. Warren was turned down for a job, but that didn't dissuade him one bit. So, he decided to pursue an MBA at Columbia University. Instead, he went there to receive his Master of Science in Economics in 1951 after discovering that Benjamin Graham was a professor there. In 1954, Warren uprooted his family and headed to New York to work for his mentor, Benjamin Graham. He had previously worked as a stockbroker in Omaha and had taken a Dale Carnegie public speaking course, both of which he put to use by teaching night sessions at the University of Nebraska. So far, it appears that Warren was willing to try a variety of careers in order to fund his ultimate aim of attending business school. He invested his earnings well, thanks to the bold risks he took on in a variety of business ventures. In 1950, Warren followed the advice of his mentor and university lecturer and accepted a position with Benjamin Graham's business. His initial annual pay was $12,000, which is equivalent to around $109,000 in today's values. However, Benjamin Graham left this business in 1956 and retired. By this time, Warren had amassed a personal savings of about $174,000, or over $1.5 million in today's currency. Warren, who had traveled about quite a bit in his youth, finally bought a $31,500 home in his birthplace of Omaha, Nebraska. Houses in the multi-million-dollar range are the norm for the world's richest people. Warren, however, found it difficult to accept that price due to his penchant for frugality. Warren was mostly employed as a securities analyst and investment salesman. Along with his family and friends, he established the Buffett Partnership in 1956. The terms of this partnership were one of a kind. Warren initially had one of his partners, a doctor, get 10 more of his fellow medical professionals to invest $10,000 each in the business. 12 people settled on that number. Warren would put in only $100 at first, but he would reinvest his management fees to increase his ownership in the business. By 1960, Buffett had established a total of 7 partnerships, in which he held a 9.5% stake, in assets worth more than $1 million. By 1962, Buffett had become a millionaire thanks to the success of his partnerships. which had amassed assets worth more than $7 million, of which Buffett personally owned $1 million. Warren Buffett made what he now considers to be his worst investment ever in 1962. Warren Buffett spotted an opportunity to gain money by investing in Berkshire Hathaway, a New England textile company founded in the 1830s that had seen better days. He was convinced that the company's problems stemmed from its management, and so he proceeded to make large purchases of stock. After an argument with the company's management, he agreed that new leadership was required. Yet, losses persisted. The once mighty textile company fell on hard times. The heyday of the old New England textile firm had passed in 1966, and everyone knew it. By progressively shifting Berkshire's focus away from its traditional textile activities and instead using it as a holding company to invest in other sectors, Warren Buffett ushered in an era of unprecedented growth for the company. In 1967, Berkshire had sufficient funds to acquire two separate insurance firms. This was his first acquisition in a string of insurance firms. The tale of Berkshire Hathaway's amazing success turned on this event. Warren made use of the insurance firm's significant cash flow to fund his subsequent purchases. Berkshire Hathaway Inc. As of now, they are managing over $700 billion in assets on behalf of over 1,000 different organizations. Buffett is well known for his philanthropic work since he became a billionaire in 1990. When Berkshire began selling Class A shares. Although Warren is physically ordinary, looking more like your grandfather than a corporate titan, his brain is unsurpassed and he is considered a genius. He donated 185 million shares of Berkshire Hathaway to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which at the time was worth $28.3 billion. It's nearly impossible to resist his endearingly genuine, unpretentious demeanor and charming charisma, even though it's convenient to dismiss him as a legendary figure. Warren Buffett is just a guy who was able to zero in on his passion at a young age and devote his entire life to it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider forwarding it to your friends and family. That's great for the channel's health. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Please let me know what you think of the video, and who you'd like to see us talk about next, in the comments section below.